I'm sure she'll tell you a little bit about herself as well, but we actually met 2 years ago. So Sally runs, not a company,
it's a not-for-profit.
Not-for-profit, Stripey Light Bulb. So Stripey Light Bulb basically is all about ME education and put on an event in Cardiff. And I saw this and was like, I need to learn pretty quickly, and said, can I please come? But it's meant to be for kind of educated and for
Healthcare,
people that,
teachers,
for people that kind of run businesses or have employees that might have ME, they come along and learn about it. So I went along to that and we met there, and it was great. And I guess, Sally can tell you a little bit more maybe about what you do and also your ME journey. It would be great to hear from your perspective. Obviously, we all know Row, and she's kind of, really struggling. So it'd be great to hear a few words about your experience and
happy to
share a little bit. Thank you.
Yes, I am the silly cow with the teddy. He's actually a global ME mascot. He's travelled around 700,000 miles in the past decade. He does things that ME patients can't do, whether that's going on holiday, going to hockey matches, running in marathons, doing karaoke because of noise sensitivity, etc. Anyway, so he is on social media, ME Foggy Dog. Please do follow him, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. So I've had ME myself since 2006. I moved from Plymouth, I just finished a degree. I moved house, moved back in with my parents. It was supposed to be for 1 year and I've never moved back out again because I had an ear infection, bog standard labyrinthitis. Many of you have probably had that at some point in your life. And it triggered chronic migraines and ME. And it took me 2.5 years to get a diagnosis, very scary, got scanned for brain tumours, MS, every single thing under the sun. And then I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome is not ME, but the compromise is ME-CFS. If you ever see the name CFS, please think ME because it's really complicated, but it's a way of saying ME is just fatigue. So please ignore it anytime you hear chronic fatigue syndrome. One thing you need to know is that ME is a spectrum. So I've got mild ME and I've lost around 50% of functionality. I barely have a social life. Anytime I go anywhere, I have to be driven. Thank you, Mum and Dad. I can't work full time because my brain shuts down. I can only work 4 hours a day. So yes, I run 2 not-for-profits, but they're deliberately tiny because that's all I can manage at the moment. If anyone wants to help me with that, please do get in touch. And about a decade ago, I just thought, why is it that anytime I meet anybody, nobody's got a clue what I'm talking about in terms of ME-CFS? So I created a fundraiser. It's supposed to be 1 year of fun, and I realised that there were a hell of a lot of people just like me. And now Foggy's 10 years old this year, marking our 10-year anniversary. And we've raised over £15,000 for ME research, which, because I can't run marathons and I can't do football tournaments, is actually really good. And most of the people that donate to me have ME themselves. They haven't got any money. So I do not want to be a Debbie Downer, but one thing that I need to talk about today, and I've mentioned this to Shauna, a lot of people don't know, but the NHS does not have a protocol or a policy for severe ME. And right now there are 3 very severe ME patients at risk of dying from malnutrition in NHS hospitals. And I've had this conversation with Shauna before. At the moment, Row doesn't have issues with digestion. If she does, to be frank, she's screwed because hospitals see it as a psychiatric illness. And they say they're refusing to eat. We will not give them a feeding tube. One woman's been off IV fluids and feeding tubes for 3 days and they thought she was going to die this weekend. It's that serious. And I'm currently campaigning for an NHS protocol, so if anyone in this room has any connections or anything that can help me with that, I'd be really grateful because COVID-19 triggers ME. And our community is now 1.25 million across the UK, but you won't hear that anywhere because the press don't like talking about it. And a quarter of those people are as severe as Row. That's a lot of people. That's like, well, you did the maths, my brain's a bit tired, but a quarter literally cannot get out of bed. And there is no NHS protocol. And only 10% of medics worldwide have any training whatsoever on ME. and most of those are told it's psychiatric. And I know there's little ears, but that's absolute. It is not psychiatric. The only reason they say that is because it's 4 to 1 women that get it. It's called hysteria because it's mostly women, so it's sexism in medicine. And because they literally give us less than £4 per patient per year for research funding, equitable diseases get about £60 per patient, we get 4. That's why we don't know why Row can't get better right now. Row hasn't got treatments. I haven't got treatments. Doesn't matter how severe your ME is, there are no treatments, no pathways in NHS hospitals, nothing. So that's the key message, I think. And I nearly burst into tears with Shauna earlier. I'm so pleased to see healthy allies in one room working for one person. Whatever your motive was for taking part today, thank you very much. From me personally, I knew I was going to go. From me personally, it's incredibly difficult because of the stigma. Danny was talking to me about that earlier. Because of the stigma, so many people think, oh, she's overweight, she's lazy, she's a hypochondriac. You think all of that because of the media. Just look at the headlines, the absolute crap they write. It's just ridiculous. Everything they're chucking at long COVID right now is replicating what's been said about ME for decades. And these are incredibly poorly people. But yeah, so just ignore all the rubbish. But if you want to help with ME, please continue to support Row and Shauna. Get in touch with me anytime you like. And if anybody wants some CPD points, Stripey's training is available. Thank you.